Welcome to The Real Deal. I'm your host, Lisa Redl, and today I'm joined by the beautiful and awesome Candace Chisholm. See, we did it in unison.
I know.
So Candace is one of our producers with this show. She does the segment called She Changed It each week, where she highlights amazing women who are changing the world.
Yeah, it's hard to pick just a few. Like, there's so many incredible women. I'm going to be busy for a very long time.
Well, when I said to you that you have to sign in blood, the contract for the show, you have topics for the
I
rest
actually thought you were kidding when you said that, but...
until I cut you.
Yeah. And then I went to the hospital, and it was this whole thing.
It's like this big drama.
Yeah.
Such a drama queen. Anyways, we're talking about, whoa, there's some, this is actually perfect because the theme is Canada. We hear hockey in the background here.
We did that on purpose.
Yes, that was just some special effects. We're trying to make the show very Canadian. You know, we're not trying to stay in the box of local while we are going to be featuring amazing Okanagan people. We do want to get this
across Canada.
Across Canada.
Yeah, and showcase. That's why I wore red for you today.
You look like a Canadian.
The A. Do you say A?
All the time. Oh. I know.
Yeah. I don't think I do until I meet an American and then they let me know.
Americans say, huh? Like, that's cool, huh? I'm married to one, so I can do that.
We're not showing this in the States.
I'm allowed to. I'm basically American because I'm married to one, right?
But we do have, there is just, again, you know, there's so much talent across Canada, and it's awesome to showcase Canada.
Every week we also are doing streeters where we go in the public and we see what people think about the stuff that we're talking about.
Yeah, I love that, opinions.
So
everybody has
we
one.
Sent Dave Lamoureux out to Hockeyville on the west side, asking just everybody at this event, what does it mean to be Canadian?
I'm Dave Lamoureux here at Hometown Hockey, and we're here to find out what it means to be Canadian.
It means to live in a great country. We've got freedom and a great quality of life, and so yeah, pretty happy to be Canadian.
Hey Marcus, how are you?
I'm doing well. How about you, Dave?
I'm doing great. So what does it mean for you to be Canadian?
Oh man, it's an awesome honor because I get to come from the US and I got my dual citizenship in 2010 and I met a beautiful girl 2 weeks into it. And now we have two beautiful boys.
Oh, these rats? Hello, Mr. Beaver. Hey, it's Hank. Hank the Beaver here, and we're gonna ask him, or her, what makes you Canadian?
Oh, I don't know. We're running one of the only free hockey festivals in the world right now, so that's pretty Canadian.
Yeah, and being a Beaver, it helps too, right? What does it mean for you to be a Canadian?
It means a lot. And I like our town. It means the world to me. It's a really great place and I love being here. Same, it's a really great place and yeah.
What does it mean for you to be a Canadian?
It means the world. It's one of the most amazing countries. I get to live in it and I'm truly blessed.
I like being a Canadian because of all the freedoms that we have in society. The ability to play sports, most people can afford it, subsidized if need be.
I don't know, I guess if you think about what a Canadian is, it's somebody with respect, with honor, and loves the game of hockey.
We have a question for Wade. What does it mean for you to be a Canadian?
Oh boy, it means a lot. I'm pretty proud of, just how lucky we are to be from this country, a beautiful place. It's obviously for me to be able to play hockey and to be able to wear the jersey, that was such a special time in my career, so just proud to be Canadian.
Well, I think Canadians are selfless, they're polite. I think that they care for other people. I think that we embody a nation that is inclusive, and so for me that's what it means to be a Canadian.
If you go to our Facebook page or our YouTube channel, right here, we have some outtakes from Dave because it took him like an hour to just do the very beginning throws, which was so hilarious. So
he's the best.
Always check out our YouTube channel for extra content like bloopers and things like that, because with the people who run here at The Real Deal, there's lots.
Oh, I'm Dave Lamoureux here at Hometown Hockey for The Real Deal. I'm here to find out what it makes Canadians Canadian, what it means to be Canadian. I'm Dave Lamoureux. Okay.
Yeah, this is the best part of the show.
So speaking of being real, one of the things that we try to do here on the show is
sustainability.
That's the word.
I love that because technically, like that's the way we all should be thinking nowadays with the landfills and everything just filling up. And I love the direction that you're going with this, how you built this set.
And they're going to be on the show today.
I know.
Yeah, to talk about
So
it. So we've had
excited.
some amazing women and men, of course, but the women featured today are responsible for the set so far, and it's not finished yet. Habitat for Humanity has partnered with the Up Project.
The Up Project from Lisa Marie.
And they take donations to Habitat and they refurbish them and then resell them. In our case,
yeah, and she did this table, and I mean it's
wood
incredible.
wall.
Yeah.
Speaking of secondhand, Women's Shelter has become our clothing sponsor, and I don't know if you've been there before.
I have.
But it's an amazing organization in Kelowna, and I'm sure there are other organizations similar in other cities.
Yeah.
But here in Kelowna, they do a thrift store, and people, women that are in domestic situations, can shop there for free, and a lot of the money that is spent there goes to the
back
women.
to the charity. Yeah, that's the other thing too about sustainability, and the Women's Shelter does it really well, is they have the social enterprise part to it. So if you have, right now, it's very popular to be cleansing your house, the Marie Kondo effect they call it. So if you have that, it's good to go to places like the Women's Shelter and donate, because that money that is spent there is put right back into the charity to help sustain the charity, because charities have to do a lot of work to keep their doors open. So I think that's speaking of sustainability, that's a really good thing.
Know who you're donating to, no matter what the cause. I mean, you can go ahead and donate your stuff to places like Value Village, but I encourage you to actually take the time to see exactly where the money goes for each charity that you donate to.
I want to talk a little bit about the person who's coming up next, which is Lauren, and Lady Bosses.
Mother of 3.
I know, and the decorator of this incredible set. So she does the perspective
event design. And
works so hard.
Well, it's hard as mothers to try to find some balance and to find a career or something that works with your schedule and allows you to still be a mother. And she's kind of found that balance with Perspective Event Designs, because she can kind of pick the gig she wants to and still have time to be there with her kids. She's put a ton of time in with our show. She has been here today setting up on her birthday.
I know. She had her kids here, which was
I
so
know.
great.
So
because I think that is also really important. She's teaching her kids that value of being an entrepreneur, and even if they decide not to be an entrepreneur, just that thought process behind it and taking the initiative on things. I think that is such an incredible thing to teach your kids.
Totally.
So I love her. You're gonna love her and love this set.
And thank you, Perspective Event Designs.
Yeah.
See you after the
We're
break.
not worthy?
Yeah, we're not worthy. We're not worthy. So without people like our next guest, Lauren Krauser, our show couldn't happen. So Lauren is with Perspective Event Designs, and she designed our entire set. So tell us a little bit about what you've come up with here.
Well, it came from a lot of the inspiration from you. Like, you looked on my Instagram page and said that you really like this barn wood wall, so I just kind of went off of that. And
my drawing, did you like my drawing?
Yeah, I love the drawing, So use that, the
Stick
inspiration, the inspiration from the barn wood wall, and then as well as the logo too, right? Because any sort of design that you do, it needs to go with the branding of the company or the person or whoever is putting on the event, right? So.
It's Lauren's birthday today, and Lauren has been up ladders and hanging stuff and everything. So thank you so much, and thank you for all you put into this. You're a mom of 3. I got a bun in the oven, so I'm almost there with you. How are you finding, trying to balance, doing these kind of projects with being a mother?
It's definitely hard, but we find kind of our ways. We ended up homeschooling and doing a bunch of other things so that my work and everything else could be flexible. So we just kind of build the life that we're wanting with everything, and the business goes with that.
And that's why you started doing event design, was trying to find something that worked with your family?
Yeah. I tried to work with a company within Kelowna, and it was a year after I had had my first, so my maternity was up and no one was really looking to hire anyone for the weekend. I thought, well, I want to stay creative and I want to keep my foot in the door as far as event design goes, so I just started my own small thing and it just kind of kept growing from there.
And what's your like? What kinds of things do you like doing the most?
I like doing a variety of things.
Mostly TV sets?
Yeah, mostly TV sets.
There's so many in the Okanagan.
yeah. Most of my business right now is weddings because that's such a huge thing in the Okanagan.
Right.
But I love keeping a good mixture of corporate stuff in there because it's just a different sort of creativity. And then TV sets, I mean, any sort of displays, anything that keeps me creative and keeps me building and that sort of thing.
So is it the design part, like the creating and taking someone's vision and then turning it into something that?
Oh yeah, for sure. Just the whole creative process, taking inspiration from someone, those ideas, and just building it into a whole vision, and then seeing it come to completion is my favorite. Yeah.
Do you ever find though when somebody gives you exactly what they want, and then you do it, and then you show them what you've come up with, it isn't, your brains are completely different?
Sometimes. Yeah, a lot of times with brides and they send me their Pinterest boards. Those can be a little bit of a nightmare sometimes because they're all over the place.
Brides?
Yeah.
So Bridezilla came from?
Actually, surprisingly, most of the time it's Groomzillas.
Really?
Yes. Yeah.
I want to hear more about that.
Yeah. Most of my more difficult ones are the grooms that are right in there and throwing out these ideas and saying we'd really like to incorporate this. And I have to give them just a gentle no sometimes.
See, it's men.
Yeah.
It's men. So I kind of showed you some pieces of my brain with my cartoon artwork, which I'll put up so you can just see how good, what she had to work with to make this amazing set. And you've been working with Lisa Marie with the Up Project. So everything on our set is recycled materials. And you guys have all kind of worked really well together. And Lasma with Rustic Chalk Decor, we're going to be showing the filming of our logos there. So what else are we going to be seeing as this?
So just some final touches, I think. A rug and a coffee table for here. We're still looking for a permanent rug for the entertainment set. And we'll kind of change some items in and out when the seasons change and just change things up a little bit every once in a while.
Does your husband help you?
Oh yeah, all the time, of course.
So I like a woman that was it a week ago, you're drilling things up there, and we've got a lot of women working on the set who know how to use their power tools.
Yeah.
Up next, we're going to be having Lisa Marie with the Up Project, and she'll be talking about the materials that you guys have been working with to get. They've been donating stuff from Habitat for our set, so that everything that we see. What happens with Lisa Marie is she takes your donations, upcycles them, and then resells them so that the value of them increase, so that more money goes into Habitat. And we'll be talking more about that after the break. Thank you so much for coming and for being such a huge part of our set. Without you, this wouldn't have happened.
Oh, no problem. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Yeah. How do people get a hold of you?
You can search me online for just Perspective Event Design. I'm also on Instagram. Same thing, Perspective Event Design, and same thing on Facebook.
Awesome.
Pretty simple.
Well, I just want you here full time, so.
Okay.
Thanks, Lauren.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
Thanks.
So our next segment, we're going to be heading out into Lasma's business, Rustic Chalk Decor, and she's going to show me how to make a sign, and the sign is going to be for our backdrop. So we're going to show firsthand how to make a sign, and then we're going to put it behind us.
That's part of her business model, right?
Yep.
She does workshops.
She does all kinds of workshops. So you can find all of her stuff on Facebook, on Instagram, her website. How about some of that here? And it's really cool because it's amazing actually how many people that have been to her workshops. It's such a great thing for people to get together. It's a great
kind of bonding.
Yeah, you get to come together and just make something amazing. So we're gonna go check out all the amazing things that she does.
I'm excited. I can't wait to see it.
We are at the Rustic Chalk Decor DIY studio, and Lasma is going to show us how to make some signs that are going to go on the back of our set. Come on in. Hi, Lasma.
Hi, Lisa.
Oh, ready to go?
Ready to go? Ready to paint a sign?
Yeah, let's do it. Okay, so what's first?
So first thing what we're gonna do is gonna take these stencils and just put them underneath the table.
Check this out. Do you know the real deal? Our team is TRD, so it says turd. So we're like Team Turd.
I actually don't know.
I'm the biggest turd.
I actually don't know what third means, so. oh. Okay. That's what it means. Okay.
Latvia comes from Latvia.
Yeah, so I don't know every single word yet, but
I'll teach you all that you need to know.
Okay, your first thing what you're gonna do is you're gonna stain your board,
okay,
so that when we paint over top of it, it gives a little bit of rustic feel and it doesn't look like we painted on brand new wood. So first thing we're gonna do is paint our board dark. So you're gonna just put on a pair of gloves so you don't get all your hands dirty.
This is what I always forget when I'm painting at home, and I always curse myself. And I'll wear an outfit that I'm like, oh, I won't get any paint on this. Every time I wreck everything.
Well, we are all prepared for that.
So I'm glad that you're more responsible than I am.
I have lots of experience.
You do.
So what you're gonna do is you're gonna use this water-based stain, so because that one dries nice and fast. You're just gonna spread out the stain as far as it goes, and just cover it all up. Maybe do about half a board first. Then you're gonna use blue shop towel and wipe off everything that comes off.
Okay.
So I'll get you some more stain. And I will start working on your other side. So today we are using Fusion Mineral Paint. It's natural furniture and finishing paint that's made here in Canada, run by a wonderful family in Ontario. And the best thing about this paint is has no VOC, so no bad gases that are toxic.
For pregnant people?
Yes, for
pregnant people.
Kids, for home, and then has amazing coverage. And the best part about it has built-in top coat, so we don't have to seal with anything to make it waterproof or UV resistant.
Everything you said just spoke my language. Canadian made, no chemicals,
and
no harsh chemicals.
And it covers beautifully, usually depending on color, sometimes 1, 2, or 3 coats.
What got you into this? Like what was like, you know, you came from Latvia, had a few children.
So long story short, I married Canadian and we met in Latvia and then we lived there for a few years and then we moved to Canada. And after my work visa expired, I needed to do something. So I started to make chalkboards and sell them at Christmas markets. And then I started teaching how to make them. And then I started teaching sign painting classes, and that was 6 years ago, and the business grew from there. So it started more as a hobby rather than, never thought I would actually have my own studio here, and it would be my full-time job. So
do you find though, like having a business like this, people come to your workshop and they're like, well, I can do this myself. I'm just gonna start my own workshops. Has that happened to you?
Yes.
Is that annoying? That would annoy me. I'm not going to speak for you, but I'd be like,
when I just started, it did. But now I feel like if my clients enjoy coming here and they like what I offer, they'll still keep coming to my business and don't go to my competitors. And so yeah.
When people come, they're like, I'm going to learn everything, and then I'm going to do it myself. Don't do that. That's not nice.
Well, if it
at least learn it from somebody else. Like
no, if it helps another mom or woman to make an income, I think that's wonderful. Kelowna is big enough to have multiple people.
Exactly.
Doing
There's always room for everybody.
Yeah. Next thing what we're gonna do is we're gonna do the dry brushing on top of it. So we're gonna cover the board quite well, but we're gonna leave the edges to be more feathered out. So basically, I'll show you how it looks. So what we actually are using, we're using the same paint color, raw silk from Fusion Mineral Paint. So we're gonna load up our brush and start by just filling it in. And then the ends, we're just gonna
wispy. I feel like her strokes are a lot better than my strokes. Different strokes for different.
We'll even it out.
Different strokes for different folks.
Okay, so next thing, now that our boards are painted, we're gonna grab our templates. So I'll put this one on top, and I'll tell you what we're gonna do. Oh, all right.
I do not trust myself.
All right. All right, so we're just gonna take it from the center.
This one's very air bubbly. Is that my fault?
That's fine.
Yeah.
It's okay, we can just do with one.
See, I'm very creative, but my attention to detail is very, needs work. Raw, real, relatable. The real deal TV. Last one I said before we started that I couldn't wreck anything, and I said, okay, challenge accepted.
Very cool step. So what it does, it just seals the edges. So when you paint with the actual paint color that you want to use, the edges, the paint doesn't bleed underneath the sticker. It sort of works like a glue.
Oh, okay. I was wondering what was happening there.
Yes. So, yeah, so that's what we can do.
So this is my easy job.
Yep.
She's giving me easy jobs because she's learned that I can't be trusted.
Even myself, when I start new projects, I always, sometimes even on purpose, try to make mistakes, what maybe other people will do, just to learn how to fix them.
Yeah.
But that's basically the best way of learning.
I think I have my PhD in trial and error, just in life in general.
Well, because you try so many new things all the time. I think that's what it is.
It's called a chemical imbalance. And not being medicated.
So now you need to pick your colors for your logo. So I think we know which ones we're gonna choose. So we're gonna get Azure to make it super fun. So again, we're using Fusion Mineral Paint.
I love this color.
Yeah, the coverage is so great. The ash I actually painted my wall in ash and it's only one coat.
What?
And Fusion paint can be used as a chalkboard paint as well. So this wall actually will be chalkboard wall. So
oh my gosh, that's amazing.
yeah. So you can paint on your sign.
Seriously, it's
All right,
amazing.
well, let's go and paint. All right, so now we're just gonna get the paint. All right, here it goes.
I'm getting nervous.
Recently, there's been quite a lot of men come in. I think they see other men in photos and they're like, oh, I guess I can do it too.
I accidentally took my husband to an all-women's painting workshop.
Oh.
Painting with coffee.
Yeah.
And it was at Third Space.
Yeah.
But he got so competitive with all of the women, and his painting was the best. I was very. It's now on our wall, and mine is hidden because he did way better than me, which is really annoying.
So yeah, so we offer different kind of workshops here in the studio. So on the walls around, you can see all the projects. So plank wood signs, frame wood signs, big oversized signs, and you even can come and make a working clock that is nice and quiet.
I want to do that one. I really love that.
And
that like that up there.
Yes.
Like true mothers, I've got one hiding. We've got 5 kids, or no, 5 so far? 6 on the way.
6, yeah.
Between the 2 of us, and one of them is being contained in the office.
I'm impressed. He's doing so well.
Mama's got to do what Mama's got to do, right?
Yeah, the logo now.
This one? Hold on.
Okay, well, we are done painting now, so we're ready.
I really like
for
your creativity here with the Instagram.
Thank you. That was fun. So they're all nice and dry, so now the fun part of peeling it off. My favorite, usually for everyone else, is the most stressful part. But the thing is that you can't do anything wrong. You just basically remove everything that doesn't come off. Alright. Starting. I love that the TV
Well, if there's a way of screwing things up, I certainly find.
Well, the nice thing, we're just gonna use a wood glue and just glue it together, so.
This is the trial and error that you've learned.
Oh, look at that, you got some paint too, but that's okay. The nice thing, if they're paint bled too, we're just gonna go with white paint and just touch those areas.
See, I ruined everything.
You did.
Look at this. This is basically my life. What happens to my life?
Once we touch it up, I'll show you that you can't even tell that it was there.
Okay, I think it does. That looks amazing! I'm so impressed with this.
Love it, it looks so good.
Everything is just perfect.
Okay, well, now we just have a final step with framing this side.
Nice.
So, safety first.
Safety first.
So, we're gonna use a battery powered nail gun to build this.
Hit Jamie. I was actually pointing right at a bad
All right,
spot.
so here you go.
Okay.
It's that heavy, so I'll hold the sign. And then just
right there?
Yeah. Nice. You're natural with that tool.
Yeah, I know. I mean, tools at home.
Yep. I know.
But I have lots of tools. I just don't know how to use any of them properly.
Wow.
I learned on YouTube. Check this out.
Oh, I love it. Okay, looks nice and clean, and it doesn't look like you made it yourself.
And we did.
Yes. Well, let's reel the other one too.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so glad you did that. I'm so glad she did that because it just shows that things happen. It's the real deal.
Oh my gosh.
It's the real deal. We're ready for the reveal?
Yes.
Ta-da!
All done.
The real deal. Looking good. Thanks, Lasma.
Good teamwork.
That was good teamwork.
Good job with that one.
Thank you. I had so much fun with Lasma, and I really, really like to do things that you can see. Next week we'll have it on our wall.
Tangible stuff.
Tangible stuff. So
speaking of tangible, so what I love about what the real deal is all about is that collaborative effect that is coming together, and we've got two incredible women that are collaborating to do all of this together. So we have the Habitat for Humanity with Stacey, and we have the Up Project with another Lisa Marie.
Yes.
I didn't even think there could be another Lisa Marie.
Me neither, and we have a lot in
How could you
common.
both be fantastic?
Well, she's a lot more fantastic. Both these organizations, I know lots of people know Habitat for Humanity. A lot of people know them as the people that build houses.
Yeah.
But what they don't know is that if you've seen the Okanagan restores that are throughout the Okanagan, they're places where, for me, it's like a gold mine. My entire house is basically furnished.
And it's
my kitchen,
beautiful.
Everything is from Restore.
Yeah.
So I really respect them, and I also respect, again, those charities where you see where the money's going.
Yeah. And again, just like we talked about with the women's shelter, that's their social enterprise.
Yeah.
So people can donate. This is what was so cool, what I really learned a lot from Stacey before, and then having her again today, is that they can donate stuff from their house, like a kitchen, if they rip their kitchen out or something like that.
And they give it to me. And then I put it in my kitchen.
And it's so beautiful. But that's another way for them to sustain that charity. And for
they
them
get
to do what
tax
they can.
receipts. So
Yeah.
the people that donate will get a tax receipt for what they've donated. And
Keep stuff out of the landfill.
the problem that I think that they found is a lot of people like to donate garbage or things that just need a little bit of fixing up. So we're going to talk to Stacey first from Habitat, and then right after that we're going to talk to Lisa Marie and talking about how some of the donations that comes in, like this table, she upcycles them to get a better dollar for the charity.
Which is incredible.
It is.
She's so talented.
She's amazing.
Lady bosses. Can't wait.
We're back with Stacey Fenwick, and she is the chair of the board of the Habitat for Humanity Okanagan. Welcome.
Thank you for having me, Lisa Marie.
Well, thank you for being here. You're a big part of this set already without even really knowing it. So Habitat, for those that don't know what they do, I mean, Habitat's global. It's something that most people know about. But locally in the Okanagan, there's the restores.
Yeah, so we have the restores, and really we're a social enterprise with the restore, meaning that the profits for the restore actually go into building homes for families here in the Okanagan. So we've been actually around the Okanagan since 1992. Since 1992, we've helped 34 families. However, because of our restores, which the first one was open in 2013, we've been able to scale up and build capacity. So this year we'll be starting 15 homes.
Just in this year?
In this year, yes.
Okay. For people that want to know, when their donations go to something, they always want to know what happens next. And I know some charities, like some stores, kind of act more charitable than they really are. Things like Value Village, where people think that when they donate, it's going to a good cause. And a lot of the percentage that actually goes to charity is very small. But with what you guys do, you guys actually have tangible results showing when you donate, the money is going to this family here in Lake Country or this family. Do you have some examples of some families that it's like, here's where your money went?
The story of the families that we help are often, they've moved 9 times in 10 years because they move into a rental home and then it's sold out from under them.
Especially in the market here in the Okanagan.
Yeah, especially in the Okanagan. Okay, so this is often what happens is it's the first time that a child will invite a school friend over to his home because he's no longer embarrassed about where he lives.
And that's so sad.
Yeah.
When I heard that gave me chills. What other kind of stories have you heard from some of the success stories that you guys have had here in the Okanagan?
So we've had a number of families that have actually been able to get conventional mortgages. And so, basically now they're in the homeowner market. So what happens with affordable, a lot of governments right now are focusing on affordable rentals. The problem with affordable rentals is, yes, we do need affordable rentals and we need nonprofit organizations that fill that need, but we actually need to be able to move people beyond that so that they can get off that hamster wheel and build generational wealth. And this allows their children to go to post-secondary education, and that's often what happens with our families.
Well, in the rental market, you just never know, and especially with things like Airbnb now, so many people are being pushed out of their rentals because really, as a landlord, who really wants to rent to a mother with 3 children and a dog and a cat, right? So
exactly.
It really limits you, and you should be able to have those things. You should be able to live in a house and have pets and children.
Yeah, have a home.
Without worrying all the time when that call's going to come or the letter saying you've got this long to vacate the property.
Right, and each year the rent goes up.
Right. So Habitat not only helps in the Okanagan, but it helps globally. In what ways have you seen the impact globally with Habitat?
Well, we globally, we're in lots of different countries, and I had the opportunity to take my 16-year-old son to Malawi in July of last year, and it was a fantastic experience. There was 12 volunteers, and in the 7 days, we started with a foundation, and we built a 4-room brick home for a family, and the roof was on after 7 days.
Now, I always say that all kids should have to go to other countries and kind of, see how people live to kind of gain perspective on how lucky we are in North America. Did it change anything in your son?
Well, when I drove him home from school today, he came home and I know this sounds like, okay, he's 16. He came home and he's like, Mom, I'll clean out the dishwasher for you. I know you're busy and you have to go to this
Say no
store.
more. Every mother's dream.
So he actually realizes how lucky he is
Yeah.
and how fortunate he is. And he's just that much, he worked so hard for those 7 days, building bricks. So when he has to do household chores, he just realizes how fortunate we are.
I do get in trouble sometimes when I say that people should take their kids to third world countries, because some people will say, well, you don't need to exploit other people for the sake of teaching your kids a lesson. But I really do think there is a value in just being able to be more compassionate and empathize with, being able to see right there where some people don't have access to clean water, a roof over their heads.
So, the thing about, exploitation, I don't really, our program globally is a lot different because the local Habitat actually goes to communities. That community actually decides which family is most in need, and they decide, who we're going to help.
So it's just like the Okanagan, but just globally.
Yeah, just globally. And there wouldn't have been access to a home without Habitat.
Right.
So it's not like we're taking, like jobs away from trades. There's typically, 3 supervisors on site with the volunteers.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a project that wouldn't have happened without the 12 volunteers with their contribution that basically provides the funds to build the home.
Right.
and then their volunteer labor.
Well, what I really like about it is that many times people go on mission trips and do all these things in third world countries and ignore the things that are happening in our own backyard. Where with Habitat, I really, really appreciate how, you know, you guys are very involved locally and globally so that you have that backing, you know? Now, with Habitat for Humanity, what kinds of ways can people help out here in the Okanagan?
Okay, so we have 285 volunteers that came out to help us last year between builds and in our restores. We have 35 staff that run our 3 restores as well as our affiliate office. So, and the items that you can actually take to Habitat's restores is actually what helps fund building these homes. So things like furniture, used building materials. If you go to Habitat for Humanity Okanagan's website, there's actually a list of the things that we take and the things that we can't take. But we also have like an estate service so that you can call us and we have a cube van that we can come out and actually, you know,
Clean you out?
Clean you out, yeah. So like if someone's downsizing and you're not sure, but
or like the elders, we have a lot of
Yes.
the generation with you know, parents and grandparents having to figure out what to do with all the stuff.
Exactly.
that
So
have been I've had 3 grandparents in the last 5 years. We've had to deal with 26 or 36 years of stuff they've accumulated.
Yeah.
And it's very overwhelming. So it's nice to know there is ways to downsize.
So if you do call, we can basically assess what we can take and what we can't. But and then, you know, obviously load it up and take what we can. We also do kitchens. So if you're doing
Say no more. Well, actually, you can continue, but I need to tell you something.
Okay. Okay.
Go ahead. Tell me about your kitchen, then I'll tell you about my kitchen.
Okay, so if you're trying to renovate your kitchen, call up our restore because we have volunteers that will come and take the cabinets out and resell them at our restores.
I didn't know that part. I gave away my kitchen cabinets, but my entire kitchen is from Restore. My house is basically a showroom for Restore.
Awesome.
I have, and people come into my house and they're like, wow, this is beautiful. And I'm like, everything is secondhand, like everything. So I was able to get a beautiful marble, like granite countertop.
Oh, yes.
Not marble, granite countertop island.
We have marble sometimes too.
Yeah, the U.S. have full kitchens. And it could be as simple as I heard through the grapevine that the people that donated this kitchen, it's a $70,000 kitchen. They donated it because they wanted something more modern, and this was too contemporary. I'm like, I will take your contemporary, and it looks amazing. And it's like a $70,000 kitchen that I got for I think $5,500. And there was one piece of cracked granite, but we just made a wood countertop, and it's just amazing, right? So
That's awesome.
It's helping everybody. And
that actually didn't go to our dump, right?
Exactly.
Our landfill.
And I don't think people understand all the amazing things that you can find in places like Restore. I get my paint there. I get a lot of my tools, any of like screws and nails and basically everything. And now with our set too. So if you find a nice coffee table and a rug, let us know.
Okay.
So what's your guys' website and how can people find you?
Habitat for Humanity Okanagan is our website.
Okay.
You can donate, you can volunteer your time, donate furniture, donate money. Let us know if you're interested in coming out to help with our builds.
I would love to do that.
Let's do a show around it.
Maybe after this one comes out.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming, and thank you guys so much for being such a big part of our set. I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you for having us here.
My next guest shares a name and a passion for power tools.
Yeah.
And wood walls.
Building.
This is Lisa Marie with the Up Project. Tell us a little bit about the Up Project.
So basically we take donations that go through the restores and repurpose them and salvage them so we can keep them from going to the landfills. and just to create more value that goes back into charity to build families' homes in the Okanagan.
So she's talking about resource Habitat for Humanity, if you're not familiar. And have you ever been to the dump and looked in the dump to see?
Yes, it makes me crazy.
I am like, I've done like live videos, be like, this is not garbage.
We should be allowed to scavenge.
And we know you can't scavenge.
No, you can't.
Why not?
It's liabilities.
What, 'cause
I think Habitat needs to contact them.
I
really,
do.
like really, because there's
I
so
make
much
my
good
husband do
stuff.
my dump runs now because I get frustrated every single
Yeah.
time. I'm like, I could use that kid's table.
Or the wood pile.
Yeah, the
like
wood
come
pile.
on, there's like full sheets in there and 2x4s and stuff that you can use.
So, and that's exactly what you do. So,
Yeah.
with Habitat for Humanity, the restores that are throughout the Okanagan, people can donate furniture, like some of the stuff that we have here that was actually donated to Habitat.
Yeah.
And what Lisa Marie does is she upcycles them. She makes them look better so that there's more value for it.
Yeah, exactly.
For the Habitat.
Yeah, or we'll turn it into something else. And, you know, we got a table in the other day, an oak table, and it was, you know, barely salvageable for a table, but we're going to mill it up and make benches out of it
And that's the thing.
upcycle it into something else.
Stuff that people think is garbage.
Exactly.
Might not be.
Exactly.
But how do you know the difference? Because you don't want people just dropping their garbage off at Habitat.
If it's
so
solid wood.
Solid wood.
Yeah, that's my first key. If it's solid wood, it's salvageable.
So how did you guys hook up with Habitat?
So they actually offered me the job when I still had my old shop. And it just happened that it kind of all happened at the same time. So I was forced to move out of my shop because the owners were selling the property. And then I took a bit of a break because I owned a commercial cleaning company as well for 18 years.
Women bosses over here.
Yeah, so I just worked. That's all I did for 15 years.
Yeah.
And then I just took a bit of a break and decided to take the job with Habitat, and it was the best thing that ever happened.
So what are you hoping to get out of your relationship with Habitat? Like, what are you hoping that it does for our community and beyond?
Well, exactly that. Like, I get to do what I love, but it's also for the greater good. And we're saving pieces that are going from the landfill and, you know, creating more value for the charity that is building families' homes here in the Okanagan.
Well, we live in a community that has a lot of seniors, and a lot of people are struggling when their parents or grandparents are going into homes and they have all this furniture
Yeah.
and things to deal with. So lots of people don't really know what to do with it. And what kinds of pieces are, because I know some places don't accept things like those big TV china cabinet things.
Yeah.
But so what kinds of things can?
So, you know, anything that I wouldn't take, it can be sold still at the restores. Right. So I kind of go in there and pick, you know, mainly things that need to be repaired that maybe won't sell for anything on the floor at restore because it's just so broken, or just things that are of more value, like antiques and vintage furniture. Like instead of selling it for $20 or $30, you know, we can refinish it or refurbish it and sell it for a lot more money that goes back into the charity.
And trunks, you have lots of
Yeah,
trunks.
so many trunks. There's so many trunks.
I love trunks. I've got like 3 of my own.
And
house.
those I wouldn't do anything with.
No, because
you know,
they're great.
they're great as is.
Oh, what were you were saying something about the moss?
Oh.
She's got some tips that I think that are very important for people to know about.
Or you. Okay, so this is kind of funny. In my yard, I had paving stones, and it was growing moss, and I actually really liked the look of it, just the bright green around the paving stones. And you can't buy moss, like you just can't, right? You can't go and buy the natural moss. So I don't know how I got it. I think I was just Googling it or researching it. And anyway, you can mix moss with beer or stale milk and blend it, and you can actually paint it on rocks or whatever. I just poured it in between my paving stones, and it grows moss.
How did you find that out?
I don't, you know what, this was so many years ago.
Pinterest?
Like, I bet this was way before Pinterest.
Oh,
Like, this
really?
is like 15 years of camping and going to the bush and bringing home garbage bags full of moss and blending it. Like, literally. And just pouring it in my paving stones.
Any other tips for people that are wanting to do some like DIYs?
Oh my gosh. That's another show.
It really is. We actually should do another show.
I know. You should come to the shop and we should do a
because that also
project.
cuts down waste. Is showing people a few tips on how to make what they already have.
Exactly.
Something that they want to hang on to.
I mean, we should do a show about that.
I'm
in the shop.
ready.
Right?
Let's do it.
Yeah, because there's so many. Like
Yes.
the ideas are endless.
Yeah, welcome to my brain. I think
It's overloaded.
It really is. Well, how do people find you and your page?
Actually, our website just went live today, theartproject.ca. Facebook, The Up Project, and Instagram, The Up Project HFHO.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. Well, thank you so much for all the hard work that you guys have done.
thank you.
We're going to also be working on a kitchen kind of set here.
Yes,
Your guy came
that's
today
exciting.
with the live edge slabs. I
Yes,
love those
so
so
I'll
much.
be finishing that as soon as he's done.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Thank you.
And make sure to like, follow, subscribe, all the things, donate to the Up Project. So basically, our whole show has been about women who have been change makers.
Oh, we're women.
But you actually have a segment each week on our show called She Changed It.
I do.
Where you focus on a person in the Okanagan or beyond who is doing something amazing that has a kind of a more local or global impact.
Yeah, this is, we talked a little bit about this before, but this is something that has inspired me because I love people who inspire change, whether it's themselves. So sometimes it's about what they're doing for themselves, but that will always have a ripple down effect or a ripple around effect to their family and subsequent other people. But we're also going to show people who have changed things for the world. And I think, because I think change is good, donkey.
Change will do you good.
Right. So today we have Sweet D's flowers. I love this girl. Her name is Diane. Sweet D is sort of her alter ego that she named her business after. And what you're going to see a little bit is about what she has done to change a lot of stuff about herself so that she can run her own business and live her life, live her best life. So I'm so excited to show you this.
It's your very first. I can't wait.
I know.
We'll get you flowers after from
Yeah,
Sweet D.
you will want to get they're so beautiful. Yeah.
All right, well, let's check it out.
I'm Sweet D and I own Sweet D's Flowers, which is a pink flower truck in Kelowna. I got the name Sweet D when I was 21. I was on my own for the very first time and a little bit scared to take on those new adventures. So I created a superhero called Sweet D when I would tackle things that would come my way. And basically she is a superhero that is oversaturated with sugar, which is why she's Sweet D. And also she has a sidekick that lives in her hair. It's a cat that grows 10 times bigger whenever we fight enemies. And that was kind of my little push to take on tasks or adventures by myself. And the name Sweet D just kind of stuck with me ever since. I always knew that I wanted to work with flowers. When I lived in Saskatoon, I was a boudoir photographer, and part-time I worked at a flower shop. And right away I knew that when I was done with photography, I would move on to flowers. And I'm not too sure when I originally thought of the flower truck. I knew that there were flower trucks in the States. And when the opportunity came up to move to Kelowna, I just thought this is the perfect place to start a flower truck, and then I started it. The scariest thing about making a change is all the pressure you put on yourself. And I think that you have these expectations, and as soon as day one of the business starts, you might be able to feel it. So I think after a while of being in the business, you really have to let go of these high expectations you have for yourself and trying to be perfect and trying to be successful yesterday, and just breathing into the energy of the business and just letting that go. I think that has been the scariest part of the change, is just letting go of expectations for yourself. I think a lot of times when things happen to us and we're not happy about them, you just want to sit in complaining. but you're not going to be able to move forward unless you just move past that. I think early, when I was younger, I would complain if just something very inconvenient happened. But now that I've learned over time, you know, you can be angry for 5 minutes, but then move on, because getting stuck in that kind of victim mentality just really holds you down. So, 5 tips for following your dreams. Number 1, I'd say, is take time off for yourself. When I started Sweet D's, I worked every day for 3 months, and you can get burnt out very fast. So I'd say if you're starting a business, I know you want to hustle hard, but I'd say just dedicate 1 day a week to doing nothing, because that'll make you a lot more happier. Number 2, find a good support system. With a support system, it could be one person or your family, but I'd say definitely having somebody who's going to be your anchor through everything that you're going to go through is going to be really helpful. Number 3, meet other entrepreneurs. I try to meet with a new entrepreneur once a week, and it's really great to just get to know people in the community, network, and you learn a lot from people who have their own businesses, and it's just a great way to understand the market and meet other people where you can help them and they can help you. Number 4, don't be afraid to tell your story. I think it's really important that if you are an entrepreneur, that the people who are engaged in your business should know about you. Number 5, don't say yes to everything. I'd say that it's very important to know what you can do as a business and as a person and what you can't do. It's okay to say no if you know that you're not going to be able to show up. So if you do have to say no to things, that's okay, and only say yes to things where you feel like you can represent your business or that your business can do really well. People can get a hold of Sweet D's Flowers on Instagram. It's just Sweet D's Flowers, or through our website, www.sweetdsflowers.com. That is a really great platform to find out where we're going to pop up, or if you need to order flowers, our information is on there.
So that was my favorite part, you know, like she went through the 5 steps of how to be an entrepreneur and stuff like that, because I think that sometimes there's such a misconception about running your own business. You know, it's hard work, but sometimes, yeah. What? Sometimes, you know, people will shy away from it because they're like, well, I'm not like so-and-so that runs their business, or, you know, they have like this preconceived notion. Mm-hmm. And that's what I loved about her. That's what I saw in her. That's why we wanted to do this story on her, is because, you know, she's like, this is what I want to do and this is what I'm going to do. So to be Canada's first mobile flower truck, it's so cute. So make sure you guys check her out. Mm-hmm.
Well, we're going to wrap up the show.
Yeah.
But before we do that, we have one more guest.
We do?
The musical guest. So each week we have a musical guest come on The Real Deal. Mm-hmm. And if you have somebody that you think is very talented, they could just be a singer-songwriter. We've had people in here that I found at karaoke bars. I just wanted to give a platform, a chance for people to really showcase their talent.
Yeah.
And so this week, Michael Huber.
He is amazing. I met him on the way in. I can't wait to hear his music. I think I've been to a couple of venues where he's played, because I recognized him on the way in. Wow, so much talent.
Woke this morning to a letter from my ex-lover. She writes her words in beautiful prose, from cover to cover. I finished reading and I folded it down. I had my second cup of coffee. loving lies that drip from the pages like mountain snow in the valleys. I went blind the day you walked away from the light into the darkness. I hate these memories cause they make me feel this way, but I know there must be sunlight somewhere. Thought about how we ended, how your memory went to darkness. Sunlight shone through the window where I waited for the sign I was meant to follow. But I went blind the day you walked away from the light into the darkness. I hate these memories cause they make me feel this way, but I know there must be sunlight somewhere. I went blind the day you walked away from the light into the darkness. I hate these memories cause they make me feel this way. I know there must be sunlight somewhere.